Hi, I'm Ellis George, play Courtney Woods, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode number 61 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And Doctor Who may come back literally a week from today for most of us. But before that, a few companions decided to get together in Canada. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City. This is Mich back in Kitchen.
This is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Mitch made it safely home, which is always a good thing.
Made it home safely. That's good.
Yep.
Yes.
So.
There was a bit of panic involving buses that I had to take home, but I got home safe.
Yay!
Woo! Yay!
And she shall be telling us about. But first we must do the news. So, jumping straight in. I'm full of all sorts of accents tonight.
Moose and squirrel.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. First off, some convention news. Speaking of conventions, at Chicago TARDIS, unfortunately, Katrin Stewart has had to bow out of attending this year's convention. She plays Jenny, aka Mrs. Madame Vastra. However, in her stead, I guess, joining the guest list will be Dan Starkey as everyone's favorite butler/potato, Strax, and Sarah Louise Madison, who apparently played a weeping angel, so everyone will be staring at her the entire convention. Or something, I don't know.
Dan Starkey's an awesome guest, so I met him at Galley, so yay.
Yeah.
Sad that Katrin Stewart's not going to be there.
Yeah. I've met him twice at two different Doctor Who conventions, so.
Yeah. He had to.
Seems like he's going to be a mainstay of the Doctor Who convention circuit, so.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm not going to get to one of these.
Yeah, well, that too. He was at Chicago TARDIS. Yeah, he was at Chicago TARDIS the year I went.
I got to have eat dinner with him at one of the conventions.
Nice.
I was a VIP, and the VIPs got to sit at the table with the celebrity guests. And Dan Starkey was at the table that I was at.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
I didn't get to meet him at.
I have a picture with him in the lobby at Gallifrey because he was there, and I was with Mel and Sean, and they were like, "That's Dan Starkey," and we all went up to him, like, "Can we get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Absolutely!" And he is really that short. Like, I'm 5'10". He only comes up to like my shoulder, but he is just. He was just making jokes about, looking up at you, all this stuff. I was just like, yeah.
The Sontarans may be short, but they're mighty.
Yes, they are.
and Dan Starkey is a really nice guy.
Mm.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know how to segue this.
It's in the Doctor Who universe, so.
It is. From London to Cardiff.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know. Gwen and Reese are returning to Torchwood for the Big Finish series. So.
Big Finish, take my money.
Yay!
Keep.
Yeah.
The new entry, Forgotten Lives, will see married Gwen and Reese after their last adventure in Torchwood Miracle Day. Their days battling aliens are long behind them. That is, until they get a phone call. So
They are gonna.
we find out what happens to Gwen and Reese after Miracle Day.
Mm-hmm. Which at this point is the most current, I guess, of the Torchwood audios. All the others take place like early Torchwood or like pre-Miracle Day or pre-Children of Earth. So this will be the one closest to present day, I guess.
Yes.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yep.
And really, just Big Finish is just taking all of my money.
Yep.
Oh, they do that anyway.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. First world problems.
Torchwood and Big Finish. Series 2 is in the works. It's another 6 Torchwood releases are currently in pre-production for 2016. Series 2 will begin in March 2016, just 1 month after Series 1's concluding installment. So they've already got the first script in, and yeah.
Yep.
Not much.
Big Finish.
Yeah, they're already decided that the Torchwood is a good series to do, I guess, and they're going to keep doing more.
Well, people, it's been a success for them, so.
Everyone involved just had so much fun that they didn't want to stop, and Big Fish said, "It's okay, you don't have to."
Well, that too.
Yes. You know, it just adds to their catalog of Doctor Who related spin-off stuff. I mean, have you ever looked at their website and just seen how much that they have? Like, there's like Dalek Empire, Cybermen.
Yeah. I'm focusing on
and then there's like all these really.
I'm focusing
Oh
on.
yeah, not like
stuff for now. Like the Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not
for now.
Yeah.
Once
I've like just kind of flipped through it.
I might branch out into other stuff, but that's the way it's down.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about listening to them. I'm like just looking at what they have available, like the lists of the. I mean, and there's like even stuff that's like so obscure.
Yeah.
Like there's things that are. There's one that is actually a spin-off of a trilogy that was in the main range with the Fifth Doctor, and it takes these characters. It's like a Key to Time sequel with the Fifth Doctor.
To the Key to Time trilogy, and then this spin-off is with the two. The track
I can't remember
from
what
the original series. They got turned into people.
Yeah.
And so it's the two people.
Yeah, the two sort of they're sort of companions. Anyway, it's too complicated to explain. in this setting.
You should just go and check it out.
But they got a spin-off. Yeah.
And that will let you in on the picture.
It's complicated, but because I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, those two have a spin-off. Huh, okay. Go Big Finish. So anyway. So,
Yeah.
moving on from the TARDIS to a galaxy far, far away. It's like the segue hour here. There's some news about Star Wars Episode 7. It is getting an early release, but not an E-Fest. And that is a roundabout way of saying that the UK is getting the Force Awakens 2 days before the US does. And I think this is a pretty standard operation for movie studios or whatever, that for some reason, because I've seen it like with Avengers, because on YouTube they will have, I'll look up the trailers. I've looked up the trailers for like Avengers or Hunger Games before, and for some reason I'll watch, I mean, it's the same trailer, and I'll watch the UK version of it, but it'll say in cinemas, and it's like a week or so before the release date for the US, and I'm like, wait a minute, oh, that's the UK trailer. So the UK is actually getting Star Wars The Force Awakens on December 17th. And France actually gets it earlier than that, on the 16th. So if you want to see Star Wars The Force Awakens even earlier than you would in the US, go to Europe. But if you can stand to wait a couple more days, you can stay home. You know, American and Canadian audiences can stay home and you'll still get it. It's just Europe for some reason gets a couple days early. And I'm sure there's an industry reason for that or some cultural thing. I don't know. I've never really looked into why, but there it is. Yeah.
Just
we get Doctor Who day and date, so be happy for that, I guess.
Yeah. I guess if you want to avoid spoilers, avoid French Twitter. Maybe.
Good thing avoid social media until you've seen it.
Yeah. It's a good thing my French is really rusty.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I wouldn't be able to understand it in French. But yeah, I'm okay with it because I know they do this with other movies too, and even like big blockbusters. But I'm sure there's going to be people that are like who don't know that. And they're like, hey, how come they get it early? And it's like, well, that's just standard operating procedure. It's how things go. You're fine. They'll be okay. Just don't read any early novelizations, and you won't be spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happened to me with Phantom Menace because I read the novel because it was out before the movie, and I was like, oh look, a Star Wars book. So I picked it up and read it, and I'm like, now I know what happens in the movie. That's okay. I can go see the movie, and it'll be cool anyway. Well, I was 12. No, wait. No, I was 14. Special edition came out when I was 12. I was 14. So I was still like, okay, this is cool. I'm cool with this, and I liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so I was fine with it. It wasn't until later that I realized, oh, Phantom Menace is not a very good movie. but the lightsaber battles were awesome. Anyway, you done with that? That's all I had about that. I'm done with that. Go on.
Alright, saying of Star Wars, Star Wars Land is to break ground next year. Woo-hoo. Sorry. Woo! This past Thursday at a Merrill Lynch Media Communications and Entertainment Conference, that's a mouthful, in Beverly Hills, Disney Chief Operating Officer Tom Staggs commented on the upcoming new Star Wars expansion coming to Disney Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World and at the Disneyland Park. Announcing that both expansions will break ground in 2016, Staggs was still cautious on mentioning any date of completion for the new lands. He did reiterate how he and
Bob Iger. Yeah.
Yeah, my brain.
The great and powerful Bob Iger.
We'd like to see the Star Wars lands open really, really soon. So.
Which I don't blame them.
Well, so would we.
Right.
Well, yes.
Because everybody's just like, Star Wars Land. Okay, we're going to Disney.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Which this comes right on the heels of Disney announcing that this Christmas season will be the last year for the Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights, which takes over the backlot area of the Hollywood studios, which is right smack dab where Star Wars and the Toy Story expansions will be going. But it made a lot of people really, really mad that the Osborne lights are going on.
I do not frequent the Disney files, but even I saw people who were highly ticked off about this.
Yes.
I was like, wow, that must have been a really spectacular, awesome thing to see, because everybody...
It is. I mean, it is.
How dare you take this away from us? And
yeah.
Like, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I had people that were like, I hate Star Wars, and like, stuff too, so don't blame it just on Star Wars. But no, the fact that they're getting ready to hit the ground running with construction for this is a really good thing, just because the studios in Florida, at least, I mean, we're getting Star Wars Land in both Florida and California, but especially in Florida, that particular park, it really, 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 really needs attention, like ASAP. They've been closing stuff left and right in anticipation of the Star Wars announcement. I like to say that the whole Star Wars thing is like we've known it's coming, just they never said anything until D23 Expo. So, but they keep closing stuff and they're in spots where this expansion's going to go. So, yeah, they need to break ground like yesterday and get this stuff built so that people will go to this park and there will be more than like 2 things open at this point. I'm slightly exaggerating. And there's like 4 headliners open at the moment.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, as long as there's construction going on, people will be like, okay, there's something new coming, and
yes.
like, but the way you're describing it, it's like, okay, yeah, it's like they didn't do anything with Hollywood studios, and it's like, what do you like? It's just sitting there,
yeah,
collecting dust, and
yeah.
And one thing I've noticed the Disney company does not like to do is have things sit there and collect dust.
Yeah. Very much so.
Anyway. So, all right.
Bring on the cantina.
Well, staying. Yes, I want the cantina. I want the Millennium Falcon. I am going to that's going to be my rallying cry until I actually see it, because, dang, I don't know what it is. It's that ship just means Star Wars to me. I'm like, yes, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, lightsabers, droids, the Force, that's all great. I love the Millennium Falcon. It's just my thing.
Well,
When I saw that in the trailer, I was... Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I saw the Millennium Falcon in the trailer, I was just like, yes. Anyway. So, yay, Star Wars. Okay. Yep. Moving on to Marvel, still staying in the Disney family, but on a different branch of the tree.
Yep.
We now have a trailer and a premiere date for Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix.
Yay!
And I have seen the trailer. I know, I'm excited. Now I've seen Daredevil and I liked it. I'm like, ooh, I want to watch Jessica Jones now. So first off, the entire first season's going to go live on Netflix on November 20th. So mark your calendars for that, and you will all be binge watching, I'm sure. And the trailer, I want to say, when I watch this, I want to say that this is actually going to be, maybe this isn't the finalized concept, but I think this is like the opening credits.
Yeah, because it's reminiscent of the Daredevil credits.
Because Daredevil has that very stylized, like, the city's covered
icon
in
thingy
blood or wax or whatever. I want to say blood, but it kind of has a waxy quality to it, so not quite blood. But anyway,
it's blood-colored wax.
But yes, we'll say that. And so it's that very trippy look to it. And Jessica Jones, the Jessica Jones trailer is that same kind of thing, only it's lots of different colors, and it highlights parts of the city and different things. And then at the end, there's a little tiny female figure looking down the street, and she's just in silhouette, and you see it like, ooh, this is interesting. And then there's the name Marvel's Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So no actual footage from the show yet, so it's not that kind of trailer. It's just sort of a, hey, this is Netflix, and it's on November 20th, and it's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. So that's all that is. So I think people are more excited that, yay, there's an actual date. And when did Daredevil come out? Was it it was in the spring? I remember that. So I'm just curious if this is actually following the every 6 month program that they talked about earlier for these Netflix Marvel series.
I don't remember. I remember the day it premiered. It didn't show up on my Netflix for like hours and hours and hours, and people were like, I'm watching it. I'm like, it's not on my Netflix. It hasn't popped up.
Okay, so you have to be patient.
Yes.
But yeah, but I do remember it was in the spring, like March or April. I just don't remember the exact. But I was just curious, like, is this actually
April 10th?
6 months? April 10th. Okay. So
slightly more than 6 months, but
yeah,
close enough.
Okay, well,
it's twice a year.
Yeah. So we're getting 2 new Marvel series twice a year. Two new Marvel series a year from Netflix is the plan, as we reported some episodes ago. I don't remember. Because they've got the Daredevil season 2 coming. They've got the Punisher. They've got Jessica Jones, and then they're doing like an Avengers style mashup at some point with these. Or am I just imagining that? I don't remember. I'm just talking out loud. Thinking out loud. Oh my gosh.
They have plans, but I think some stuff is still in flux as to when and who. I think more than anything, just right now for sure, Daredevil and Jessica Jones.
Okay, awesome. So anyway, so there's that news, and
Yep.
Put it down with all the other shows you're going to be watching this fall and winter, because we're all just going to be glued to our TVs and computer screens anyway.
Exactly.
I don't know if it was just me, but when I was watching it and like they were doing like that, like it was like a camera lens thing, it kind of looked like when like you seen a point of view from a Dalek. I don't know, maybe it was just me with Doctor Who in mind, which that's not shocking.
But, well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, if you look hard enough, you'll see Doctor Who references, unintentional Doctor Who references, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
If you want to see them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I watched the first time I watched it. I didn't have any sound, so I watched it again later with the sound, and like at some point it's kind of quiet, but like you hear a voice say Jessica, and I swear it's David Tennant. It's like his character in the Jessica, but that I could be hallucinating that and just think it's David Tennant because I know David Tennant's in it. So
yeah.
I'm just looking for hints of
or
David
we could
Tennant.
Just be going, where's David Tennant?
Yeah.
He's got to be in here somewhere.
Yep.
I've seen some David Tennant fan blogs on Tumblr discussing that and like what exactly he's saying. Like, is it now? Like saying like now, Jessica, like he's telling her to do something or what?
Yeah. We'll have to wait. November 20th.
We'll find out.
We'll find
out in November.
Yep. All right. And keeping in Marvel, our last bit of news. I think I want to keep doing this like weekly as this goes on. We're just going to do updates on this just because this is so much fun. So another update in the ongoing Dub Smash Wars for charity. As we said last week, the charity raising war, it kicked off. And Team Carter had put out their entry for the first round, but there wasn't anything from Team Shield yet. Team Shield, they took their time, and I'm glad they did because they brought it. And I can't. I've seen way more of Patton Oswalt's legs than I want to, but at the same time, I love it so much.
Awa was talking about that, and she said that you should donate, like you should vote based on the merit of the video.
Yeah.
Not who you think should win, because that people were donating for Team Shield before their video was even out, like before people even saw what they had to offer, and she wants people to vote based on.
Well, that's the whole point of it.
What they do.
Well, yes, it is that is the point, and that's why I waited to make my donation until both videos were out for this round, just in case, because I do want to base it on the better video of the two. But in this case, Shield wins for me, hands down.
And Team Carter even had Miss Piggy in there. So
I know.
I like Team Carter's video because it doesn't end in the middle of a sentence in the song.
Like, and see, that's a consideration to make.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I like the next clear end point in Team Carter's video.
And I totally get that.
That's just me.
And of the two songs, I definitely like Single Ladies better than Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I
that's
just
the
can't-
point, yes. Well, you know what? That's how these things go. Is
Yeah.
it is a dub smash war, definitely.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Fandoms will
yeah.
be torn apart by this.
Yeah, I have the Crowd Rise website open on my computer here, and just the thumbnails. I can't. I need to close it before I start laughing, and I can't stop. But, and you know, like we said last week, people were donating for both teams even without Shield's entry. But once Team Shield enter theirs, they have taken the lead and are leaving Team Carter in the dust at the moment. They're like almost $7,000 ahead at the moment.
Well, Haley Atwell will not take this laying down.
Oh, no.
Oh, and that was the other thing I should have mentioned. Haley Atwell has actually officially been announced for Salt Lake Comic-Con. So I'm kind of wondering if she'll do something with the Dub Smash while she's at Comic-Con, because I think that would be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
And
I thought about that, actually.
Yeah, I was just that one. I think I'll be in the audience or something during her panel. I doubt it. That'll be like one hot ticket to get into that, but we're gonna try.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, ooh, I wonder.
I was glad I was a volunteer because I got to skip the line for Haley Atwell's panel.
Nice.
Uh,
Well, speaking of which, that's a nice segue.
Speaking of,
perfect.
Mitch,
yeah.
tell us all about your adventures.
The floor is yours, friend.
I went up Thursday. I picked up the new Doctor Who comic on my way up, like the new Four Doctors. So I left a little bit early, although I didn't have to because I was waiting at the terminal for like an hour. Well, not quite an hour, but so I waited at the terminal, and then I walked to where the Go Bus was, the Go Bus stop, and took the bus up, and then I was staying at a hostel in Toronto, because it was a lot cheaper than a hotel.
Oh, I
So
bet.
I checked in there, and then I went to the convention and signed in like in the volunteer room. Got my badge, got my special crew lanyard, and then I went out went into the convention. I didn't do much. Like, I walked around, and I went to one panel, which was a cast of Dark Matter, this new show that just started up this past summer, and slightly spoiled myself on the finale because I hadn't gotten caught up before going to this panel, the finale. So, oops.
Oops.
Indeed.
Won't be making that mistake again. So, yeah, not much on Thursday because I went to that panel. That was an hour. I was only there for a few hours.
That was your settling in.
That was the settling in. That was getting back into the groove of conventioning. Friday, I was Tom Felton. I went to the Tom Felton panel.
Nice.
That was fun. Didn't get to skip the line for that one because I wasn't on shift as a volunteer. Because that was before I volunteered in the afternoons.
Is Tom a engaging panelist?
Yeah, Tom's great.
That's good.
So
I can't imagine how awkward it is for some of these celebrities at some of these conventions.
he talked about being sorted into Gryffindor on Pottermore.
No, yeah.
I remember that, and he talked about it on Twitter. And J.K. Rowling was like, "Oh, the Sorting Hat knows you're better. You're better than you think you are," or something like that, or something very complimentary about being a Gryffindor.
J.K. Rowling knew for a long time beforehand that he was Gryffindor, but she didn't tell him because she didn't want to affect his performance.
Nice.
Oh my.
And then for volunteering, that was
Did the thing.
the Doctor Who, the evening with the Doctor's companions. No, that was Saturday.
No, you're saying because you got
On Friday? Yeah, I was at the front of the room for Karen Gillan's panel.
nice.
So, I was trying to remember all the one thing that's really floating to the top right now from that is that Karen Gillan's favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
At least it's in the Marvel family.
And like I mentioned last week, she is coming back for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. She hadn't read the script yet when she was talking about it, but she is going to be back and probably going to shave her head to save time and makeup. There was a couple, and she talked about a couple Doctor Who spin-offs that she would like to be a part of. Either one following Amy and Rory post Angels Take Manhattan, like living in New York doing whatever, or she would like to produce one, or like I think she said produce, one that follows Amy before the Doctor comes back, like starring her cousin Caitlin as a younger, like a teenage Amy kind of thing.
That would be fun.
Like maybe what would be interesting with that is like a short with like teenage Amelia like at one of her therapy sessions.
Oh my God.
I think that would be hilarious just to see like her describing the raggedy doctor and all this, because we know that nobody believed her, and it'd just be interesting to just like to see how exactly that all went with all of her therapy and everything that she went through.
Yeah.
You can have that idea, BBC. Make it happen.
Yeah. And it could be like a Sarah Jane Adventures-esque sort of thing with, the Amelia Pond Adventures.
Yeah.
It could be done.
You're welcome, BBC. You can have that one. Sorry, anyway. Keep going.
So
Continue.
Her favorite episode Doctor Who episode that she was in is the 11th Hour. And her other favorite, because she was that favorite episode twice, she likes that 11th Hour because it was like them starting out and starting on this amazing journey together kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think her other one was Girl Who Waited, because getting to do the older Amy one part. Her favorite episode that she's not in is Doomsday. And her favorite Doctor Who companion is Rose.
I agree with her on the companion bit. I still can't watch Doomsday. I've watched it once. I can't watch it again.
It's one of those you have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it, or if you're, showing it to someone who's new, who hasn't seen it before, and you're watching their expression of their, It's one of those. It's like, okay, I like this. I understand that it's well done and it's good and well produced and good story and whatever. I can't watch it because it's like,
the feels. So apparently Karen is the glutton for punishment, or she's heartless. One of the two.
Well, she just said it was her favorite, not that she goes back and watches it all the time.
Well, that's true. Sorry, Karen. If I ever meet her, I'm going to tell her that.
Really trying to...
It's all a blur. She can't...
I should have written stuff down.
You need, like, the program in front of you or something. Like, what happened on what day?
It's I'm trying to remember stuff that Karen talked about.
I don't remember seeing much, like, as far as news or anything, because it came out of the Karen and Jenna panel that I saw news.
A thing. Where is it? Where's this thing? No.
The thing. Where's the thing?
I found the thing. It was on space.ca. It's 40 wonderful things Karen Gillan told us at Fan Expo. So, let me just look over there.
See, somebody was smart and wrote stuff down. I felt the same way after seeing Jenna's panel.
Her
I'm like,
thing is that the thing about she's yet to see the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 script. She was just cast in a new film called The Circle, based on a novel by Dave Eggers. There's a link in the thing. Her favorite horror film is Scream. On the current Doctor, Peter Capaldi, he's Scottish, so he's a winner.
Paisley.
She's changed her mind about returning to Doctor Who. She would love to come back someday if she was asked.
Besides the obvious, where she's already come back.
Yeah, well, she brought that up, like she said, like, well, when she left, she said she didn't want to come back because she didn't want to impact the emotion, like she didn't want to affect the emotional impact of her departure. And then she came back and she was like, so because of that, she's kind of reconsidered.
Understandable.
The thing about Doomsday is she likes it because it's sad.
So she is a glutton for punishment.
Apparently, because number 8 is favorite Doctor Who episode that she wasn't in is Doomsday because it's so sad.
It's like in Blink when they say sad is happy for D people.
Yeah.
I guess. And in this one, number 9 is that she can't recall her favorite Doctor Who villain, but that's actually a joke that she apparently makes whenever she's asked her favorite Doctor Who villain. She says she can't remember.
Oh.
Ha 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 ha. And you have to be a Doctor Who fan to understand that reference.
She was actually asked in the panel with her and Jenna, and that got a reaction, and she's like, "That was the test you all passed." But her favorite villain is actually the Weeping Angels. And if she had to be companion for a different Doctor, it would be David Tennant.
Maybe she'd try to get him to use his Scottish accent.
Maybe. I would.
Matt Smith apparently made fun of her for being a ginger.
Says the man who dances like a giraffe.
Yes.
Oh, Matthew.
She started watching Doctor Who when it returned in 2005. But her mom is a bona fide Whovian, and they would watch it together.
Nice.
She wants to work with Tilda Swinton because she's got gravitas. So,
Tilda Swinton would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And was asked about appearing in Star Wars, and she said that this is something that she thought about and that has actually talked to her agent about, and that she wants to be like a weird alien, like all made up as like this weird alien, like so you can't recognize her at all, and just be like a walk-on role, like in the background, and have the lines.
I think a lot of people would like that in Star Wars. Like, just let me walk in the background, just do me up, and I'll,
Well, David Tennant, before he became the Doctor, he wanted to just be, random Cyberman number 5 in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before he knew Russell T Davies and Julie Gardner were considering him for the next Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, and she was initially confused by the script of The Rebel Flesh and The Almost People, because apparently it's a lot more confusing on paper than it is visually.
Using mess anyway, so I can only imagine what people, like Karen, and looking at the script going, now what is this? What? And they're like, just go over there and say your line. And like, okay.
Who's where? What?
Yeah.
How? Yeah.
The thing, the what? I don't know.
Once she saw it, she was apparently fine, but it's just the script. She's never in Fish Fingers and Custard, or at least she hadn't at the time of the panel. If she could play any Doctor, she'd play the first one. She apparently loves the first Doctor, because it came up several times over the weekend.
Old school, I like it.
Nice.
She's winning me back over.
And she said, if Amy were the Doctor, she'd try to save the universe, but she'd rather just be the sarcastic companion.
I think we all would just rather be the sarcastic companion.
All the fun without the responsibility.
Yes.
It's kind of like being an aunt or an uncle. All the fun without the responsibility. You don't have to be the parent.
And it's like, okay, we went on the trip through time and space. I can go home now. Bye, Doctor. You go, save the world that's about to collapse into a black hole or something.
Yeah. Oh, Karen. How we love thee.
I mean, number 34. If she was talking about if she could write an episode of Doctor Who, it would involve evil alien cardboard cups that throw liquid in people's faces. and she apparently got the idea from the cardboard cups that guests are the guests are given a cup of water, like their panels, and she apparently got the idea for this episode from hers, and accidentally splashed the host of her panel.
Oh.
She was like waving it around, describing this, and actually splashed
Oh my.
So, we can provide a link to the
write-up.
to the this write-up on space.ca. I'm just gonna
Put it in the notes.
put it in the notes right now.
Yep.
Sounds
Make
like a
it
plan.
I need to get over to the notes first.
The notes. So that was Friday.
Yep. So I was also in on the. After that was the cast of Scream, which was interesting. So, and then and once my shift was over, I hurried over to the South Building for the to meet the cast of Carmilla.
Nice.
So I got in like just at the very end of the panel and got to see the trailer for the rest of season 2 that they showed, and then they stayed behind for 2 hours signing autographs.
Nice.
So, and I was one of the very last ones to get an autograph, and I got to talk to Caitlin Alexander, who plays Laugh, and
Yay.
tell her I am non-binary and that I started watching because of La Fontaine, and it was so amazing. Like, she gave me a high 10.
Nice.
Caitlin
Because
Alexander.
5 was not enough.
Well, Caitlin Alexander uses they them pronouns, so they gave me high 10. And it was like, oh. and they said they were amazed that people still wanted to meet them after everything. So,
That's a lot.
a lot.
That's only Friday.
Yeah. That's just the first date, right?
Friday was busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So, and I got to be on stage because in between Karen's panel and the cast of Scream, I was told to get water for the guests. So, like, I was given 3 of those the cardboard cups, and so I went to the back because there was water jugs like in the back. So I went to the back and I filled up the cups, and then I went on stage and put them on the tables for the guests and went off stage.
Awesome.
So, I got the link in the notes for Karen Gillen thing.
Nice. I gave you a thumbs up, not that you can see it.
But they're there.
Saturday, didn't do much in the morning. Well, I went to a speed dating session, but that was
Oh, fun. How was that?
it's good.
Okay.
So, Scheduled. So I just mostly walked around and looked at stuff on Saturday morning. And then first, and then started during 1:30. First panel was Mads Mikkelsen, who played Hannibal in the recent TV adaptation. So that was interesting. Then
Was your wallet crying? Walking around is very dangerous.
So, and then it was telling people, like, where to, like, I was keeping people from going in the outdoors for the panel room during the Jason Momoa panel. So I was outside of the room. And then around 4, I think, I headed over to the 102 theater because that's where the Evening with the Darkest Companions was being held. And so I went over there and helped with the lines because they had like 3 lines because there was a special ticketed event and there was 3 tiers of tickets. So gold ticket, people with a gold ticket went in one part, people with silver went in another, and then with a bronze in another. So we had to look at each ticket and tell the person, and then they let the gold people in and moved the silver people to where the gold line had been. And yeah, so, and then that kept up until all the people were in. And then I went in without a ticket because I was volunteering, and I got that perk. Perks of volunteering.
So if anyone out there is thinking of volunteering at your local con, there is a reason to do that.
There are perks. Although, if you're not volunteering, or even if you are and you're in a panel room, please, please, please pick up after yourselves. Because I had to do it a couple times where I had to go through the chairs and pick up other people's garbage. It's like, why don't people pick up after themselves?
Because not everyone's very considerate of others.
Pick up after yourselves. It will make it a lot easier on the volunteers at the convention that you are at.
It should be common sense, but
just want to put
It
that
should
out
be, but this,
not.
but you know, this week, slight tangent. This week, I ran into a video of a girl who thought when someone from Britain said something costs £5, she thought it was that gravity is different in Britain because it's closer to the sun or something. And I don't know if she was kidding or if she was being serious. So some people are not blessed with common sense. Anyway.
Wow.
It was bad. It was very, very bad. Anyway, that was my little tangent.
Yeah. So I got to be in the audience for Karen and Jenna's panel, and that was fun. Their first time on stage together. I think I mentioned that last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have that we can post on the website of that, because that I took after my shift was done. So,
We will post those.
and some videos, because one fan, their birthday was like the day before the panel, so they asked Karen and Jenna to sing happy birthday to them.
No.
So I got a video part of that. So we can post that too. It was amazing. Sunday, I got Jenna's autograph on my Deep Breath poster.
Nice.
So I can take a picture of that. I haven't yet.
And there will be pictures of this on our website, yes, later?
Yes.
I got a picture of someone cosplaying Cinderella. You know, the fancy dress.
Oh, from the live action or the, yeah.
From recent live action, like that really pretty she wears to the ball.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. We'll probably post a few pictures on our blog, but we'll put the rest up on Facebook.
I got some pictures of stormtroopers from the 501st. Because I was walking in through the walkway between the north and south buildings, and they were going in the other direction.
Oh yeah.
So I some pictures of them.
Yeah. Getting pictures of cosplayers, you'd think it would be easy, but it's not. Like, especially the more crowded some of these conventions get, you may see somebody like a few people away from you, and you're like, oh, I should stop them and ask if I can get a picture. And the minute it takes you to think of that and like maybe reach for your phone or your camera, and you look and they're gone, and you never see them again the rest of the convention, and you're like, what?
I had someone asked to take a picture when we were going in opposite directions on the escalators.
Nice. You gotta do it, otherwise you may never see that person again.
They're like, Doctor, can I get a picture? And I'm like, okay. So they took a picture on an angle on the outside.
You have to. Every so often, I'll see a person more than once at a convention, but more often than not, you got to get them when you see them.
And I got some pictures when I was standing in line for Jenna's autograph.
That's a good time to people watch.
Of Rupert Grint and Haley Atwell and Jenna Coleman.
Nice.
So, and then, I did get to sit in on Jenna's panel volunteering on Sunday, so during my shift on Sunday afternoon. So,
is she not the most adorable thing ever?
She's so adorable.
She's so cute. I can't stand it how cute she is. I'm so glad we didn't scare her off convention.
Oh, on that note, I asked her about the Pacers bear that you gave her.
Oh yeah?
And she still Yes, she does have it. She keeps all her fan gifts at her mom's place.
Nice.
Aww.
Oh, yay! That makes me happy.
I asked her about it, and then I told her that you were the one who gave it to her, and that you asked me to ask her if she still had it, and she said to tell you yes. I wanted to save that for the podcast.
Nice. Oh, yay. That's good she has a place to put that stuff, and her mom is accommodating her.
Her mom's house, yeah. So, just looking through the schedule. So the first panel that was that I was in on during my shift on Sunday was Gillian Anderson, Scully from X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool. She talked a lot about like how the character Scully paved the way for that kind of character.
Yeah.
Like the female, like the smart, determined female character in popular media.
Mm-hmm.
And how she stood of the X-Files and it gave them nightmares for a week.
Yeah, the X-Files will do that to you. Regardless of what age you are. Just some of those episodes will give you nightmares.
Because with it coming back too much, and she showed them Bad Blood, which is apparently gave them nightmares for a week, so they're probably not going to watch again until they're like in their 20s.
Yeah, probably. I don't blame them.
Almost, I think. So, and then that was 3. That was 2 o'clock, and then. And then after that, I was back on the exit doors for room 105.
Mm.
And so telling people that if they wanted to see if they could get in the panel, they had to go around the corner to the entrance, because this is the exit. If you want to see if people go around to the entrance. So. And then I went over to Sunday afternoon panel was in 102 at 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over and I sat in on that. And then after that was the Haley Atwell, which was like the last panel of the convention.
Yeah, that's a good way to cap off a convention, right?
So I left 102, went to the other end of the hall, got right in because I'm a volunteer and I was on shift, and they're like, okay, just go right in. So that was nice getting to get into the panel, because there was a long line.
Oh, I can only imagine.
And then probably like halfway through, maybe 5:45, I with my team leader signed my shift cards to signing me out, but I stayed till the end. And then I went to the volunteer room to officially sign out, like get my deposit back and pick up my pass for the CNE, because they got passes for all the volunteers for the Canadian National Exhibition for Sunday evening.
Mm.
So I picked that up, and then I went back to my room at the hostel, changed out of my cosplay, and then I went to the CNE and had pizza. They also got, but I took a picture of all the pizza before. After all the pizza had gotten there, but before people started opening boxes and taking it. So one of the pictures I have is of like, I don't even know how many pizza boxes.
I'll have to make sure to show that to Chauncey so that he'll cry a little, because he loves some pizza. He'd be like, Lucky!
And then I walked through the CNE, and I went to the, because I wanted to try that, there's the Timbit poutine. That, I don't know if you girls remember, but I shared a picture from
Yay, I remember.
Oh yeah.
article about the 10 most outrageous foods available at the CNE this year, and one of them was Timbit poutine, and I wanted to try that.
And?
So, I went through the CNE, but first I stopped by the farm building and took pictures of animals and learned about Clydesdale twins. Apparently, like, it's really rare for a successful twin birth with Clydesdale. Like 0.5% of all of that is successful, and I took a picture of the sign that explains it all. Like, so, and it talks about how, like, because there was twin Clydesdales at the CNE in the farm building, and the reason that they, like, normally if there's if the mother gets an ultrasound and that it's twins, they'll abort the smaller one to make it more like so that the mother and the other twin will survive.
Mm-hmm. So it's more viable.
Yeah, so that they're more viable. And but this mare never had an ultrasound. So when the time came for the foals to be born, they both came out, and it was
Surprise!
a surprise. And fortunately, both foals and the mother survived. So it was like one of about 7 successful twin births for Clydesdale. And one of the foals was born with fluid on her lungs, and the other was born with a deformity in her legs because of how cramped it was in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
But after a lot of hard work, they were able to get her walking. But it was like impossible. The deformity was so bad, it was impossible for her to walk for the first 2 weeks of her life. But they're doing fine now, and I took some pictures of the mother with the two foals, with the two of them.
No, horsey.
Yeah. some pictures of horses.
I'm a sucker for animals.
Me
Some
too.
pictures of cats that I took from the dairy, the section talking about the dairy industry, and some bunnies. I took pictures of bunnies.
No. See, I would have been torn. I would have been like, ooh, animals, but wait, there's Timbits protein that needs my attention. Animals, Timbits, animals. I'd be like, I need to be in two places at once.
So I did eventually get to the Tim Hortons, my Timbit poutine, and a picture of that. I got the cookies and cream poutine, which was chocolate Timbits with whipped cream over it and Oreo that crumbled, like all crumbled up. Oreo bit. It was so good.
It sounds really good.
It does make me hungry.
Now
And I'm on a diet. That's not nice.
I have to put a warning at the beginning of this episode. Warning, you get towards the end, you may get hungry.
Well, the Timbit poutine, I think, was just available at the CNE. It's not a regular thing. So, and the CNE was only till September 7th.
Doesn't mean you won't get hungry.
It's long over.
Doesn't mean you won't get hungry, and it doesn't mean people won't try to recreate it themselves.
I guess. Well, I got I took a picture, and so it was. So,
Decent portion then.
well, it was in their to-go soup bowl, and it was like pretty. So it's like the size of how much soup they normally
Mm-hmm.
do. Like it was.
I have their soup. I've had their soup plenty of times, so yes, I'm well aware of the size of the container.
So,
Oh my goodness, I have a problem.
and it's full. So,
But was it good?
it was good.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Was it good? I like it. Never had it, but I like the sound of it.
Uh-huh. So, and then I stayed one more night at the hostel, and the people who were in the same room,
Mm-hmm.
I was in a room with 4 beds, so 2 of them had apparently gone out while I was out, and like they got ramen, and then they went and got Japanese cheesecake, and they saved the Japanese cheesecake, so I had it with breakfast the next morning. When we were all down at breakfast, they brought it down with them, and they cut it up and shared it amongst like the 4 that were in our room.
Mm-hmm.
So I got and Japanese cheesecake is so good. It's like American cheesecake, but so much lighter and fluffier, and it tastes like cheesecake, but it's a lot lighter. It's like,
Which sounds like it's up my alley. That's my issue with Americanized cheesecake. It's so heavy.
it's so yeah.
Yeah.
The Japanese cheesecake is not at all like that. It's so light. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be about Fan Expo, and I'm going off.
Hey, you know, if somebody decides to come to Toronto and they want to partake of some of the local cuisine.
There's a place that it apparently does like one size, one kind, one slice, one per person. And it's like this round 6-inch thing. It's so good. Like even after being left out overnight, it was still good.
That's a sign of a good dessert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they got it Monday morning.
So now if I know, if I ever come to Toronto for Fan Expo, I need to go to the place that sells the Japanese cheesecake.
It's really good.
Duly noted.
So,
you had a very filling weekend, literally and figuratively. Sorry.
So, I forgot to mention that there was a after we recorded last week, I went to the Doctor Society of Canada, like this sort of pub night thing at the Elephant and Castle. I didn't eat anything because I'm trying to save money, but I did get to talk with some of the friends that I made at Toronto Comic Con in March. So that was fun.
Nice. Very fun.
So, like, it's like we finished recording. I went to this meetup. I come back and find out that the episode's already up.
We recorded early last week, so I was able to get the show up really quickly.
Yeah, I was gone for an hour and you got it up.
I'm just that good. To toot my own horn. And we're recording pretty
No, it's only 8:30.
Early tonight, so
Yeah.
that gives me my Sunday all to do whatever I want and not have to worry about editing the show. Oh my. Oh. Well, it sounds like you had a really fun weekend, Mitch.
Yeah.
With any luck, you'll get to do it again next year, right?
That's the plan.
Well, as we've reiterated before, that if you can volunteer at your local convention, do so.
The perks are amazing.
Yep. The obvious and not so obvious. Like getting to pour the water for the guests before a panel.
Yes. Yeah.
Or getting tickets to stuff. You just never know. I'm sure a lot of it depends on the location and the time of year and what's going on and that sort of thing, but and a lot of these conventions, I mean, they really do. Volunteers are like the heart and soul of making sure that these conventions happen and as smoothly as possible. And it sounds like that for Fan Expo that, you were trying to direct traffic for some of the panels and all that, but it sounds like they've got a good grip on organizing everything so that it flows fairly smoothly, and the volunteers are a big part of that. I know talking to the people in charge at PopCon here in Indy, that, their volunteers are the backbone of the convention, and without them, those conventions just do not happen. So, kudos to you for volunteering and putting your 110% into it to to make sure the guests have a good time, then you have a good time, and they're not yelling at you because they're not having a good time. So, Holly, he's here just in time to say goodbye. Or pretty darn close to it.
Close to the end again.
Yep, popped in at the end again. It's okay. It's okay. So, as somebody who's, I've never volunteered at any of my conventions, but as somebody that attends these things, that me to you as a volunteer, thank you for willing to put the time in and make sure that everything goes smoothly. So, pat yourself on the back, Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
A weekend well done.
Yes. And all the volunteers who may be listening, pat yourself on the back as well.
Yep.
Yep.
And hello to any of our new listeners, to the few people that Mitch managed to hand out business cards to. Hello. And yeah, we'll post I think we'll post a few of the pictures on our blog, but we'll post most of them on our Facebook. So we'll have those up on our Facebook page so you can see those, and the video, what little video you got. So, yay! Anything else to add?
I can think of.
No, other than that, it was a whirlwind weekend. Your mind is a blur, and you can't stop smiling. Sounds good. Sounds good. Alrighty then. Wrap up here. Chrissy had to bow out here, unfortunately, so it is up to me to do the wrapping of the up. The wrapping up of the show. So, quick reminder. At the end, we went over the schedule to steal from the guys traveling the vortex. So, coming up, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, next weekend Doctor Who comes back. By this time next week, we'll probably all be on our Facebook chat going, what the?
Moffat?
Yeah, Moffat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so, thinking about that next week. So, next week, if you want to join us and send in feedback about the topic at hand, next week we will be talking Hero, which I am almost done with my rewatch. I have a half a season to go.
And I finally finished watching all of it for the first time.
Yeah.
It only took me like months and
I
months.
have this feeling.
So, it will be a whirlwind between now and when we record next weekend.
The first season.
I will sit back and listen and learn, and then hopefully start a watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you haven't seen
I've
it.
watched a little bit of it, but
The Dark,
it's been...
on the topic of Heroes, the Dark Matters prequel to Heroes Reborn
Mm-hmm.
is available on iTunes for free.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
That's cool.
It is always good.
Free is always good. Yep. So next week will be Heroes with Friends on the 26th with Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. And then that weekend we will be talking about Doctor Who, the first two episodes of Series 9, The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar, because the opener is a two-parter.
I think
Ish.
when we record, I'll be 14 to 16 episodes into my rewatch of Season 1.
So you'll be
whether we record on Saturday or Sunday.
right. So you'll be almost there.
Almost.
Almost there.
But I'll still be able to talk about it because I've seen the whole thing. It's just been a while.
Yeah. So,
And lucky that I will watch it faster than that and be done by the time we record. It's up in the air right now.
Yep.
The minimum I have to watch per day is 2 episodes. I could watch more.
I definitely watch more.
Yeah. At this point, I'm watching. If I'm lucky, I do 2 episodes a day. But in some days, I've been doing I think I did 4 or 5 yesterday. I had a lot of free time on my hands yesterday.
I think one day was a really rainy day. I think I watched.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
Yeah. So that's on the immediate schedule. That gets us through the end of the month. And the next month will be Heroes Reborn, Once Upon a Time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., more Star Wars with Friends, and all sorts of fun stuff. That is what is going on with us.
And I've also already added next year's Fan Expo to our community email, the day after, earlier this week. It's always the Labor Day weekend, so as soon as it's done, they already know when the next one's gonna be.
Yeah, that's
so
convenient.
I've already put that in our convention calendar for next September 1st through 4th, 2016. If you're interested.
Sounds like a plan.
So
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yep. Alrighty then. Unless anyone has anything else, I guess we will wrap it up for this week.
Saying good night.
Good night from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you very much, Mitch. Now I really want some Tim Hortons.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.